everybody. My name is Eli.
I'm Jason.
I'm Caden.
And I'm Jaden.
And we are the YHWH and the Torah YouTube channel.
And we are going over the commands of Yahuwah.
We know your time is very precious, so we will make this as brief as possible. We want to teach you the laws of Yahuwah.
And we thank you guys for joining us. And again, we know that your time is precious. And there's a lot of things you could be doing out there. But I think one of the greatest things that we could be doing is reading and reciting and learning what the law, statutes, and commands of our Creator are. And there is such a confusion in the world today about the law, statutes, and commands, where we have 60-some thousand denominations of Christianity, and not a single one of them cares about the law, statutes, and commands, which is why there's very few people that make the kingdom. And this is why we are told, and we are reiterated several different times, that there aren't many people that make the kingdom. And so we want to actually go through a couple of new ones, because we went through... Ernie gave us one. Ernie is sub to this account, and I don't even know how to say Ernie's last name, but I wanted to thank him for sending this, because we added some, and then there were others out there that people had added that we went back through, and so we're off a little bit of what we actually went through, because we went through these tonight, and so we added them. Let's look at these real quick, and then we'll talk about them. So Commandment 1, which is the old commandment, be fruitful. Commandment 2 is multiply. 3 is replenish the earth. 4 is subdue it, have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living thing. Commandment 5 is have dominion over all living creatures. Commandment 6, I need to immediately edit this because I jacked this up myself. So this is what it says, and I want to read this because this is one we added in. So we swapped Commandment 6 that we had before. I actually did this several times as we went through these, and they made sense. So let's go through these with you guys and see what we can find out. So Commandment 6 is the herb bearing in every tree is for food. And it says in Genesis 1:29, and Elohim said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed, to you it shall be for food. So when we discussed this the very first time, we didn't think that this quite pertained to us. But the more we look at it and the more it talks about it, it is a command. Gentlemen, do you guys have anything?
No.
How you guys doing, by the way?
Good.
Everyone all right? We had a tough 48 hours, but we're going to make it through and get through this lesson. So that is it. So that is the new Commandment 6. Commandment 7, man and woman should build their own families, and that's not new. Commandment 8 is, this is the one Ernie posted in, and we looked at this, and there's two different translations here, and I want to go over them both with you. And let me see, Rashid and NIV right here. Sorry, guys. So let me get that so we can read this. This is the command. It's to master sin. And when you read this in the Sefer, it doesn't exactly say this, but when you read it in other translations, it says master to sin. And so here's the command. If you do well, and he's actually talking to Cain. If you do well, shall you not be accepted? And if you do not well, sin lies at the door. And unto you shall be his desire, and you shall rule over him. So in the NIV and in other versions, Jade, can you have that right there? Genesis 4:7 in the YHWH Scriptures. So in Genesis, in the NIV, it says, if you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. So that is the command: is you must rule over sin, or what's crouching at your door. Jade, what's how the Scriptures say?
If you do well, is there not acceptance? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door, and its desire is for you, but you shall master it.
Okay, so that as we looked over that is a command, and so that is Commandment 8, and Commandment 8 9, or it changed to Commandment 9 here as well. So this is the new one. We went back into this, and in the Sefer it says this: every moving thing that lives shall be food for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things. So when I give the footnote of it on Commandment 9, is I put every cling. It doesn't say cling, but this is a commandment that I've heard Christians use to declare their pigs okay to eat, because they only take one verse out of context, when in Leviticus 11 it tells us exactly what the definition of food is. So every cling, moving thing that lives shall be food for you. So that is a command. So we added that one as well. Commandment 10 is don't eat the blood. Commandment 11 is a new one as well. Let's see, is that the one, or is that, no?
That's not a new one.
That's not a new one. Okay, so that one is walk before me and be perfect. And commandment 12 is guard Yahuwah's covenant. This is new, right? 12?
No, those aren't new. It's just
That's-
their numbers changed.
Okay. Right. Okay, so Yahuwah's covenant. Command 13 is every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old. And that is where we are right now. And we are actually in the Sefer right here. We're in Genesis 18, where we actually do find our next commandment. And so we will begin. And Yahuwah appeared unto him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. Now, who is he talking to, gentlemen? Abraham. Okay. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, My Adonai, if now I have found favor in your sight, pass not away, I pray you, from your servant. Now, when he's saying Adonai, what is he exactly saying? It says
My
prince
master,
ruling.
basically.
Yeah, like my master.
Master, sir.
It's a respect thing. Okay, verse 4. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as you have said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto El Serah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the earth. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hastened to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. Now, this is what the crazy thing about the Bible is. It'll tell you these stories, but it's just like time means absolutely nothing, because this process right here was not an hour process. If you're having to dress, you're basically having to kill a calf.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Kill the calf, skin it, and I mean, even the best of the best. I mean, when we were looking at those dudes online, they could do a cow in 17, 15 minutes or something.
It's like 30 minutes. By the one person, it's like 25 for 2 people.
Yeah, and if this is a calf, and I mean, I guess you could completely like slaughter just a piece of meat you wanted out there, but if you want to dress this thing right, that's going to take a little bit. And so
You gotta cook it.
and she's also having to cook her stuff, and I mean, so they're finding this up. So this is like an afternoon thing, right? This is probably hours after they decided to. So these 3 individuals. Now, who are these individuals?
This is, I believe, Yahuwah and his messengers.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Yahoo. I don't know who it is. I think it's the messengers for sure. And yeah, I think they are the messengers. So, and he took butter and he said unto them, let's see, where are we at here? 9? Mm-hmm. And verse 9. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah your woman? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto you according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah your woman shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I have waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Adonai being also old also? So this is interesting. She calls her old man, her husband, Adonai as well. And so she refers to him like a master as well. A respect. Okay, verse 13. And Yahuwah said unto Abram, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old? Is anything too hard for Yahuwah? At the time appointed I will return unto you according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but you did laugh. And the men rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And Yahuwah said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall guard the way of Yahuwah to do justice and judgment, that Yahuwah may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. Now, gentlemen, this is the command, and this is what we've been discussing. And what I started off with, my friends out there, my family, virtual family, yeah, and we really do appreciate all of you guys. What we started off with when we were adding these in today, is I was going to have 2 sets of commands, and then I felt like the Jews or something of the sort, and just adding more commands. So we're going to this is a command, and I guess you can either toss the command out or not. But we're going to add this because we are the children of Abraham, right? We are the descendants of Abraham. And even if we were not the direct descendants of Abraham, the only requirements our Creator ever has that we can become an Hebrew person or a child of the Most High is to obey His laws, statutes, and commands. And these are the commands that we are going over today. And this command right here is that they shall guard the way of Yahuwah to do justice and judgment, and that Yahuwah may bring upon Abram that which He has spoken of him. And so we're going to add this one, and we're going to take it as a command because I think it is a command, and it may not be directly to us, but it is something that we should be passing on to all of our seed and to all of our kids. I mean, we should obey Yahuwah, and so I think this thing might just blow up on me. I think I just done it. It did it.
Loves doing that.
Oh, Google. Yeah, it does that. All right, so we are adding that as the command, and so we have altered the listing of the laws of God tonight, and here we go again. So 14. You should be able to double tap on this hunk of junk. There it is. See? But there's something with the paste. See, the paste is freaked out.
I need to blow up again.
It's over. It's game over.
Round 3.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we'd like to report to Google this thing.
Yes, this thing is a hunk of junk. Sorry, guys.
It don't work.
Okay, so this time, here, let me go down here.
Anybody got any good shared document programs?
Dude, this was the bomb. Back in the day, before this was ever out there. Okay, I got to do it so it doesn't highlight this. I did it. It's over. Okay.
Round 4.
Yeah, so round 4. We're not going to do this to you guys. We're going to finish reading this, and we're going to add this in there and add it to this thing. This thing is a complete hunk of junk. But that is going to be Commandment 14, right? Yeah, demo fail. Okay, verse 20. So that'll be Commandment 14, and we'll be on our way. And Yahuwah said, because the cry of Sodom and Amorah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. And if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence and went towards Sodom. But Abram stood yet before Abram. And guys, what is Sodom and what is Amorah?
That's Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, do you guys remember any of the terrible stories that I think out of Jasher?
Yeah, they're like throwing beehives on people's faces.
They were doing what?
Throwing beehives on people's faces.
They were just terrible stuff.
Torturing people.
You guys remember the story about Abraham and his servant? The servant that went down into...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
where some guy beat a rock over. So, for those that don't know, in the book of Jasher, there's a guy named Elazar, and he was the servant of Abraham, like the main guy that Abraham wanted to give his house to. But he went down to Sodom. I don't remember for what reason. I think it was to check on Lot or something. And he goes down there, and this guy takes a huge rock, smashes him over the head, and basically makes him bleed. And he goes, dude, you just hit me over the head with a rock. What's going on? He goes, oh, no, you owe me money now because I took the bad blood out of your head. So
yeah, they had this scam going on.
So Elazar goes on, and he's not happy with this. So this guy takes the judge because Elazar's not paying him. He's like, no, you just hit me across the head. Why would I pay you for beating me up? I'm literally bleeding out of my skull. Are you insane? So he goes up to the judge, and he's like, Judge, he goes, yeah, you need to pay him. So Elazar, this guy picks up a rock and smashes the judge over the head. And he goes, all right, pay this guy my fine. Pay this guy whatever it costs. I got the bad blood out of your head. And walked away home. And I'm sure Abraham walked home, and he's like, bro, what happened? Why is your head bleeding?
Yeah, so Elazar, he was a bad dude, right? He was a good dude, but he was definitely a thug of Abraham's.
He just like throws a rock at the judge's head. All right, well, you pay him. Goodbye.
Yeah, and this was the crimes of Sodom and Amorah. They were extremely ruthless.
Like lawless.
There's even ones where they were people would come into the town. Nobody was supposed to give them any kind of food at all. Anything. They're supposed to starve them. If anybody gave them food, they would take the people of the city and hurt them. And so they were basically trying to whittle the people away that came into the town until they almost died, or they did die, and then they take all their stuff. It's
pretty terrible people.
Yeah,
They
these
wouldn't
people
even
were
let
horrible.
him leave at all.
No, they wouldn't let them leave or anything, and so
Starved to death.
yeah, I think Lot's daughter got with. Wasn't she the one that had?
Yeah,
some
so-
guy
Lot
take
had
her life?
several daughters there, so Lot's daughter, they were like, I wouldn't say they were righteous living in Sodom and Gomorrah. I wouldn't say
Dude,
they were
this is incestual family.
yeah, I know, no, but this is before.
What do you mean? They were incestual before they made it to Sodom and Gomorrah.
Lot?
Yeah.
No.
That was after they ran away.
After when they got kicked
The
out.
Oh,
red and
that's
white.
why I'm way off. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry,
folks.
she felt bad for this homeless guy that was like basically getting beat up. So she took him into his house, fed him, got him well, and basically let him leave the city. Well, they didn't like that, so they like threw like a living beehive on her and like basically stung her till she was like basically bedridden, couldn't move, crying in pain. That's where like YHWH, like basically the straw that broke the camel's back. It was like
This town was just completely.
Yeah, I mean, they had
jacked.
been like stacking it up, but I think when one of Yah's children was like crying out, he's like, "That's it, I'm done with this town." And the Law had a lot more children than what it said in where we only hear of the two, the one that had Ammon and Moab, but he actually had way more daughters and sons-in-laws. He actually had like an entire grip of family there.
Yeah, and this town was so corrupt, instead of Lot tossed his girls out there. He's like, hey, I got some girls who've never been with a dude. Take my girls and don't sodomize the angels. And they're like, oh, no, give us the angels.
You're getting ahead of yourself. That comes up.
Does that come up later? Okay, my wife's trying to get me back on track.
Chapter, I think.
Okay, anyway, we are way into this, and I didn't know if it was in Jasher or what it was. It all conglomerates together. Okay, so he goes down 22, and the men turned their faces from thence and went towards Sodom, but Abraham stood yet before YHWH. So YHWH was there. And Abraham drew near and said, will you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Perchance be 50 righteous within the city. Will you also destroy and spare and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from you to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, and that be far from you. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And YHWH said, all right. If I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto Adonai, which am but dust and ashes. Perchance there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Will you destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, if I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spoke unto him yet again and said, perchance there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. Sorry guys, I'm spitting this out. And he said unto him, oh, let not Adonai be angry, and I will speak. Perchance there shall 30 be found. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto YHWH. Perchance there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, oh, let not YHWH be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Perchance 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And YHWH went his way, and as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place. All right, guys, so there's a lot to take in there, right? And so this is a large city.
He would have saved the city just for 10 people.
I don't feel like he said this all at one time. I feel like as time started drawing near, it's like he saw more things come from the city. Like he was there standing with YHWH for a long time. It was just like, how about 10, 20? I feel like he was there for a while.
I love this conversation. I think this conversation was pretty quick. I'd be my
I was
guess.
like, it was probably wasn't like hours long, but it wasn't like 10, 20. How about 10, 20? I'm sure it wasn't like
Yeah,
that.
it's probably
It's like the fear set in as his family. He knows his family's there, the people he loves is there, and he's like, well, what?
So what does that say about Abraham? That he is able to have a luncheon with
I mean, he's
YHWH.
pretty righteous. He literally talked with YHWH.
I mean, he came from that goes to show that anybody, even if you lived in a wicked land, say Babylon, for instance, that you can really become a holy person, a man after Yah's own heart. I mean, it means you can become, a right person, because he started in idol worship. He'd always questioned it, but he had been in idol worship, paganism,
he is in Abraham.
worshiping stars, and look where he's at now. He's sitting there talking side by side to YHWH, and he's like asking favors of YHWH. And YHWH is like, sure, if there's 10 here, I won't do it. And he's like listening to Abraham, like he actually has like a say in the destruction of Sodom if there was a way to do it.
Yeah, he just he needed to go a little lower.
I mean,
How about three?
How about 3? Yeah,
Can we get 3? Can we get 3?
But I mean, that's how holy are you that you could sit there and negotiate with the creator of the world?
Yeah.
How holy are you that the creator of the world will come and dine with you? And that's just
I
amazing.
mean, how crazy is there not even 10 righteous people in a city?
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
That's a bad city. Well, I mean, that's just that's
Evil rubs off on people, and they start turning evil. Like, I imagine all Lot's family wasn't completely all holy. They're all marrying into that Sodom and Gomorrah.
that is the thing about the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator. is when we follow them and when we are in them, we will be holy. But when we walk away from them, we will turn into anything. And the problem is without a governor as in the laws of God, then we're willing and able to do anything. And I will be the first to say that, yeah, without the Torah, you are able to do just about anything. So that pretty much wraps it up, gentlemen. Do you guys have anything else?
Read your Bibles.
Read your Bibles.
Have a good time.
Please follow along. If you do enjoy these, please read with us.
Yeah, please read it with us. And
if you see anything else we did miss in this chapter, let us know.
yeah, and thank you guys, everybody who's putting comments, who thinks that they found a command or whatnot. We definitely look at these, and we want to make sure we have a complete list. We don't want them duplicated, so we're doing the best we can on all of this. Thank you guys very much, and to those that prayed for our cow, we love you guys. We can't thank you guys enough. We thank you for just being a part of our digital virtual family. And one day in the kingdom we will see all of you guys. And like I've told a couple of you guys, I'll give you guys a big old grizzly bear hug. We'll give you high fives and welcome to the kingdom. So much love to everybody out there.
All right.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.
Bye.